Yeah.
Let's call this meeting to order.
Alderman McHenry.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Dennis.
Here.
Alderman Steverson.
Here.
Alderman Boyd.
Here.
Alderman Thompson. Alderman Gill.
Present. We're going to ask Alderman Keith Dennis to lead us in prayer this evening. Alderman Dennis.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your many blessings, Lord, that everything we have and do is a gift from you. I pray for wisdom from everyone in here, Lord, that everything we do will be pleasing and glorifying in your name. We thank you for everything you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Our City Attorney, Brendan Starton, will lead us in the pledge this evening.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Something I want to do a little bit different, again, putting some of our department heads on the spot, but we had two acknowledgments this evening. One is Firefighter of the Month, Captain Keith Hall. And Chief Thornton, can you come up and just discuss a little bit what all of Captain Keith Hall's positive attributes, what kind of asset he is as an employee to our city?
Oh, yeah. Keith Hall is a great leader on his ship. His station, he's the captain of Station 2 on A ship. He's a paramedic. So he's gone above and beyond anything we've ever asked him to do to further his skills so they can provide a better service to the citizens. And just kind of is an exemplary employee and he's never going to see any trouble. And wish we had several more just like him.
So, all right, thank you, Chief. And I'll ask Scooter Myers, Parks and Rec Director, to come up and discuss John Campbell. He was Employee of the Month. He works currently at the golf course.
Yes, so John Campbell's been working with us for over 4 years now. He's a type guy, you'll probably know him. He's a type guy he's gonna be the first one to work, he's gonna be the last one to leave. He's gonna be the one that when we need somebody to come in early and cut the greens because somebody didn't show up, he'll jump in his vehicle and head that way. He's just a exemplary employee of what the city of Pearl really strives for. And I'm glad that he was selected as Employee of the Month for that week of honor.
Thank you, Scooter.
Approval of consent agenda items. All items under this heading will be considered to be approved with one motion and one vote. If further discussion is desired on any item, it will automatically be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered as a general business item.
There's a motion to approve.
So long.
27 was removed.
So move without 27.
So, all right, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Public hearings 21-19-11 determine whether or not the owners and those certain parcels of real property which are listed herein are in such a condition or state as to be unsightly and unkept or otherwise a menace to the public health and safety of the community, and therefore prohibited pursuant to Chapter 24 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pearl, Mississippi, and Section 21-19-11 of the Mississippi Code of 1972 as amended. Number 32, Dr. Catherine Stevens and Janet Stevens, and located at 613 Excel Drive, Pearl, Rankin County, Mississippi, 39208.
Dr. Stevens, you want to step forward to the podium, please, ma'am? We just discuss these two properties. How are you this evening? Good. I'll let Brad, if you have to interject some, Brad, just throughout the process, I'll just let you tell the story pertaining to these two properties, Ms. Stevens.
Brad came out to inspect 613, I think it's, no, 619. I had some people on the roof trail, some all along. And he said that it passed the utilities part of it, everything. Then he said that he couldn't pass it for occupancy, but he didn't really tell me what that meant. So they said it needs, he just said it didn't pass. So
Brad, you want
I
to,
mean, I have pictures of what it looks like now, I'm sure, there it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, this-
That's, and then the ground is gonna be, it's not finished yet, but it's like it's finished.
Looking back on, Rankin County Land Roll, given a year that this was manufactured, it didn't go back that far. You know what model it is or anything?
It's on my taxes.
I got you.
I
But
didn't,
like-
it didn't go to Rankin County.
But like I say, you can tell the workmanship and, just, you know, the dings in the metal, you know, it's just, that's your steps, that's to your back door.
Well, we're getting ready to replace those.
Right.
We just haven't gotten to that yet.
And they're, you know, steps, just ding metal, we just half replacing, you know, and just trying to wrap stuff, you know, your gable ends on it, you know, with just metal, that sort of thing. My opinion on these two properties is they served good for you for years, and it's time to either, it's zoned for new manufactured homes if you wanted to put some new ones in there, but these two,
I think you got the wrong number on 613.
right, I mean, it shows on the land roll that the 613, but it's showing you got 619 on this trailer as the address. That's right. But the land roll shows it's 613.
Well, I don't know about that.
Right.
So there's not a 613 lot, it's just 619? Is that what it is? We're just talking about one trailer?
No, there is.
Right. There's another one. There's another parcel.
But she
on
has it
the back.
misidentified on that? Is it mislabeled as far as the address is concerned?
Yeah. According to the land roll, it is.
so Brad, can you speak to the utility part of what Dr. Stevens said?
Well, the utility, you know, when I walk in, I'm looking at, you know, I'm looking at a dryer in the kitchen that's, you know, not even on the same circuit. It's just tapped off on the stove side. You know, we running a stove and a dryer off the same circuit. You see what I'm saying? That's well, yeah, right. And then we had a vanity where we was draining our vanity into the bathtub.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Did it
So
say it passed electrical inspection though? With the-
Oh, no. I ain't passed any of the utilities. No, there ain't no way to
Well, I
pass.
misunderstood.
That's probably got the old wiring in it too.
Right.
So Brad, what's your recommendation?
I would recommend that the board adjudicate and have the mobile home removed from the property.
What about on that street, there's several just like that?
They are several, they are several, but they're not trying to rent them out and make money on them.
Oh, okay, it's because it's rental, that's it.
Right, and then,
All right. Well, I mean, I just know that there's several up there, and you look at the pictures I have across the street, it's like
Right.
a dump over there.
right,
Nobody's ever said it, I've got them since 2018, and nobody's ever said anything to them. There's several.
these two properties are probably the worst ones on Excel. We can show pictures of 619. But you can see where we, you know, these are, the-
Before we get into 619, let's handle 613, okay? All right, so you heard a recommendation from the building official. Dr. Stevens obviously speaking in opposition to this. Is there anyone else here to speak in opposition of this 21-19-11 adjudication of this property? Yeah.
Brad, but for the rental inspection, have you been in the interior of any of the other units that she's mentioned on Excel? You've not been in
No.
any of the others?
no,
And you went in her unit because the unit was up for a rental inspection
Right.
because she was putting a new tenant in it.
that's right.
And that was the opportunity for you to observe all these
All
deficiencies.
the, right,
Right.
that's correct.
So it's not but for it being a rental, it was but for it being a rental is allowing you access into it,
That's right,
correct?
that's correct.
So you going into it and you observe these items
Mhm.
personally.
Right, that's correct.
Was she given a list of the deficiencies?
It was so much, I didn't even make a list. I just let her know, hey, you know, we've got our use out of this trailer. It's time to move on.
Well, if you
Right.
It had just been rented probably within the last year.
Right,
And if
this,
nobody's changed anything, it's always passed inspection until now, then all of a sudden it's the age or.
right, and then, like I say, we've kind of upped our standards on rental property in Pearl. It is what it is. I mean, it's,
All right.
What's the manufactured date on the trailer?
She didn't
I
know,
didn't know,
and
I
they couldn't
didn't.
find it on the land rolls.
We don't still have that in pre-1973,
Well, I mean,
whatever.
it is, yeah,
right, ours have to be a certain period before they can place it back into the city, and I think
right.
Brad
It
alluded
has to be
that.
10 years or newer, yeah.
So it'd have to be a 2013 or newer now in order to
Right.
be placed back into the city in a properly zoned area.
Right, right.
It wouldn't be feasible for me to do that, I just sell the place. I've already sold the other part I have from Pearl, and I'm just selling everything and getting out.
Good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I've
it.
seen a lot of your other properties
Yeah,
too.
and it's
a real good idea for you to do that.
It's sold, so,
Do you live here in Pearl?
I do. I'm selling it to, we got a place to move.
All right.
I make a motion to uphold the community development director.
Second.
Second, further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to 619 Excel Drive this time.
Yeah, this one, this one right here is, it's viewable, this one, the backside, it's viewable from, 20. And like I say, you can see the repairs we're trying to make. We just putting boards and covering up. We got, exposed lathing, on the roof. That right there faces 20. You got a window with plywood in it. But that right there, that picture didn't come out like I wanted, but you can see where the seal, the outside seal of the home is rotten, right there at the door.
Well, there again, we just started preparing it since you came out. That was
Right.
4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
And that's your driveway to the properties.
How long have they been vacant?
Now,
I don't remember honestly. 6 or 8 months at least, something like that. I just hadn't had a desire to rent them, let's put it that way. A lot of people were trying to move in Pearl, and I just didn't want to get, we just want to move in. We got a lot of calls, but not who I wanted to rent to, so.
So Brad, this structure didn't pass inspection either, right?
right.
You have a year model on that trailer?
Sir?
You know what year model that one is, Ms. Stevens?
I don't, I really don't. I bought those used when I first bought that property in 1995. I know that, I remember that. And I bought this property in 1995, and I bought them used then, I don't remember how old they were.
It appears to me there's lacking a whole lot of upkeep on both of them. and
Right.
Get to the shape they're in now.
Well,
I know it gets away from you, but I mean, that's bad, you know.
All right, is there, what's your recommendation on this one, Brad?
I recommend the same, the board adjudicate and have the trailer removed.
All right. As I said before, on the previous public hearing, Dr. Stevens is in opposition to this. Anybody else in the room opposed to the recommendation? All right. If not, what's the pleasure of the board at this time? Is there a motion to uphold the recommendation?
Uphold community development director.
Second.
All right, there's two motions on the floor. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Brad, I would like for, according to the board, and we speak through our minutes here, this will be in our minutes, I'd like for And I think the board would agree, give her the opportunity to, sell these within a general period of time, you know?
Right.
Not to tarry on it, but to try to give her a little bit of leeway to try to sell these trailers. Somebody might use them for other things, but not within the city and
Right.
where you don't have to comply to the city ordinances, okay? I think the board probably agrees with that.
Just make sure they don't get put back in the kernel somewhere or try to get put
Well,
back.
no,
That's
that's
right.
fine.
They wouldn't qualify.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Stevens.
I think 60 days to sell them. And then if not, she hadn't sold them by then we can, or have them removed.
We need to speak through the minutes. We probably should have put a stipulation in that particular. We can,
Well, they've been adjudicated
Right.
to follow your recommendation, so ultimately,
you can have the discretion of that
you
point.
have the discretion to work with
Okay.
Dr. Stevens.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens.
General business number 1, consider an order to adopt a resolution memorializing the support of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Pearl, Mississippi for the submission to and enactment by the Mississippi Legislature of a local and private act authorizing the Pearl Redevelopment Authority and the City of Pearl, Mississippi, and to transfer certain properties owned by the City of Pearl, Mississippi to the Pearl Redevelopment Authority to lease, sublease, sub-sublease, sell and lease back, lease and sublease back, for terms varying in length but not to exceed 99 years, or to otherwise trade, exchange, or otherwise convey or dispose of certain properties owned by the City of Pearl, Mississippi, and certain properties owned by the Pearl Redevelopment Authority for commercial, residential, municipal, and community development purposes, to enter into certain contracts for the development of projects upon properties and for the development of facilities related to such projects, to finance or otherwise provide funding for certain projects and facilities related to projects that promote commercial, residential, municipal, community, and other economic development within the City of Pearl, Mississippi, and for related purposes.
Casey, you pulled this off, so if you have any comments about it?
I just, you know, it's more to do with that redevelopment area, and I just can't do it at the expense of my people. I want to work for it, it's fine, but I can't do it.
Yeah, this, and just for some further explanation, this helps a public-private partnership, helps us to incentivize and provide and promote some economic development. I understand your position.
Make a motion to approve it.
All right, is there a second? All right. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to the adjournment process tonight. We recently found out, Chief Dean Scott let me know that Robert Fletcher, a longtime employee with the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, recently passed away suddenly. I believe Fletcher had been retired from the Sheriff's Department for about 4 or 5 years, and just a sudden incident where he went to be with the Lord. And also Maddie Bryant, she's a long-standing person that comes to our senior center, and she's just thought a lot of, and we lost her today. So at this time, you know, with that being said, I just invite the people that are viewing in the audience and also the people in the boardroom to please pray for these folks going through a tough time anytime you lose a loved one. So at this time, I would just ask the board, one of the members of the board, to provide a motion and a second motion to adjourn in their memory.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned.